And welcome back, everybody. We are back for another weekly CBC podcast. Of course, before we get into the show, let me mention a couple of important things. The old podcast feed, I said that was going to be fixed. For some reason, they still can't fix it. And they're like, we don't know if we'll be able to. Okay, so
Nice.
dropped that for right now. Just go down into the description. There's a link there. You can listen to it on Spotify. If it ever gets fixed, we'll merge it with the old one. If it doesn't, it might just be a new feed. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were on Spotify.
What happened was, like, I guess SoundCloud, which was hosting our podcast, they've had financial issues in the past, and I guess it's catching up to them now. So I guess better now than ever to just restart the podcast feed. Clean slate, I guess. So.
I mean, they weren't getting any kickbacks from all the SoundCloud rappers, so.
Yep, exactly. So people can find that.
SoundCloud reactors.
Rappers,
not reactors.
How do you react to SoundCloud?
That would be.
Well, technically you can't. It's like technically.
I suppose you could actually. Yeah.
Oh man, I would like to see that, and I'm now interested in this.
It's a market. Let's corner it. Go.
Time to corner. I mean, we did at one point corner CBC covers bump fights and whatever the hell. I have to bring Sean back on for those felony fights. That's what it was.
How to get cancelled 10 years later.
Oh, craziness! What a wild west the internet was just over a decade ago. Huh? Man,
I miss it.
It's wild. But hey, you know what else is wild? Not the topics on this podcast. Well, maybe one of them is because it kind of came unexpected. But before we get to those, let me, of course, as always, introduce everybody. There's, of course, me, your host here. Find me on all the Linktree things, as always. And I am, as always, joined by Mitch.
Hi, Linktree, description. We need to get through it quick because I've got F1 and Rebirth to get back to.
Same. I got to get the Rebirth as well. So this is going to be like a 40-minute podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
We're
I need to play the blurry game.
Yeah.
Because UE4 apparently is really blurry these days.
So, like, literally, last time I'm playing, Shay gets home and she's watching. She goes, have you noticed that the PlayStation resolution dropped? And I was like, oh, the fact you noticed that something is off about this image. She was like, it just looks soft and pixelated. I'm like, yeah.
It's stable. Unlike it's got the same problem as Jedi Survivor had. Specifically, but at least the frame rate stable.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not as horrendous.
Right.
Jedi Survivor was like, I might throw up if I jump off this ledge. Like it gets so choppy.
It's
but
hey, the 4K mode is the graphics mode.
That's what I was gonna say. But hey, there's a 4K mode, so if you do 30 frames a second, if you don't mind it, I mean, it's gorgeous. Good God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kristen, what have you been doing? Are you in the Midgar?
No, I haven't gotten the game yet. I've been for the last 2 days pretty pissed. You can see Linktrees or my Linktree down there. You want to check out some of the stuff. The reason why I've been pissed is for the last 2 days, my external 4 terabyte hard drive bricked itself, and I had four full recordings for reviews. I was just pissed yesterday.
Ooh.
Nice. That's exactly what you want.
I've been there and lost so much. God.
I just plugged it in. It was like the hard drive was not reading. I'm trying to see if I can get it, if it's password protected. Nope, it's not that either. And I was like, it just bricked itself, didn't it? And then it's like, so you're either gonna have to see if you can spend money to see if you can save anything or just start over.
Was it like a mechanical old school, or was it like a solid state or whatever?
It's a mechanical.
Oh, so it was old school, yeah.
Yeah, it was because it's like double the price. So I wanted an SSD one, so I had a mechanical and it bricked itself. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend the extra money on it. And I'm lucky that I found my old 2 terabyte hard drive. But if I do, I'm probably not gonna do those reviews for a while because I don't want to spend another I think 60 or 70 hours finishing those things to the point to the reviews.
Well, people can go give Tristan some follows. Go to those Linktrees or when I post it and follow, share. I don't know.
You'll get more community updates as the stuff comes out. So
see, there you go, everybody. So we do actually have a full show at hand, and we're gonna have 2 bonus members topics coming to the members of the channel. Those are gonna include Joker 2 and early analyst talk, which is absolutely insane, and the MCU.
Oh yeah. Did you guys see about what happened with Coyote? Was it Acme versus Coyote? Or
no, what happened now?
Zaslav confirmed, they're canning that. They're not releasing it at all.
It's on the verge of being deleted, yeah.
Wow.
So if anyone's got a copy and listen to this, just upload it to the internet. Let people watch it.
I did see something from like 4chan saying that some people do have a copy of it and that they're just waiting. So it may come out soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like one of those situations where it's just like, it's yeah, WB, man. That's the situation, I guess. Terrible. But I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. Look, we got a good show at hand. We're gonna go play some video games after this. The video games are waiting. We gotta go play them. So let's just get into the actual show and the topics we got. Sony has ideas. Now, whether these are good ideas and or bad ideas, I'll let you decide.
I'll bet you 20 that it's always bad.
That's a safe bet. I bet you 100 is bad.
Bet any amount that Sony's ideas are bad and you are a winning man. Like, imagine if that was a bet in Vegas, you'd be a billionaire. Like,
oh, it's Vegas. I bet there is one.
Oh my
Literally,
God.
I bet there's a bet.
You'd be surprised at what Vegas puts up for bets.
It's true. You can bet on pro wrestling now. It's fake. What do you? Oh man. Oh, wild.
That's the American people for you.
It's true. So here's what we recently found out. Now, on top of whatever else they're working on, they're not working on the Sinister Six, but they're working on a Marvel villain team up. That's only Sony characters, meaning it's the Sinister Six.
What could be the Terrible 12?
The Insidious 5?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
are there any?
The Ferocious 4?
The Ferocious 4. That's what their 4 tanking box office spin-offs are called. They can't sustain any profit. Yeah, Tristan, look up if there's anything. Any other?
Because I'm trying to think because there should be a couple. Well, actually, I just said there is. Mitch was technically right. There is a team called the Sinister 12.
Oh my God! Yeah. That's their idea. They're like, well, if 6 characters can't sell, what if we do 12?
Oh wow, man!
I don't think they'll be able to do the 12 one, thankfully.
Yeah. But also, apparently, there's at least 3 other films in development. One of them is another possible Spider-Woman style film. Question mark. Maybe. But what gets me is that they've referenced a Spider-Woman film in 4 different ways with 4 different projects. Like, Spider-Gwen is Spider-Woman. Sydney Sweeney's character is Spider-Woman. Silk, they referenced as Spider-Woman. I'm like, what?
I mean, there's 3 Spider-Women in Mad Women alone. So
yeah. So it's like,
yeah, there's a couple of them. Like, there's the 4. I think the 4. Is it the Foreigners Alliance? Is another one. It has the Foreigner, Chance, Jack-O-Lantern, Slade, Taskmaster, and Black Ant.
Are you just making up characters now? What is
no, I'm not. They also got the.
I tell you what, that name ain't gonna fly today.
The Foreigners.
There's Savage 6, which is basically like the Sinister 6, but it has Vulture, Scorpion, Tarantula, was it Stegon, King Cobra, and Rhino. Then they had Sinister 12, the Sinister Syndicate.
I really want Sony to do the Foreigners. I don't care anymore. I want to be on set of that
Venom's
movie.
a foreigner technically. Kraven's a foreigner technically.
Yeah.
I don't know where Madam Web was from, but ain't from this plane of existence, I tell you that.
Not from a coherent universe.
No.
That's where she's from. Yeah. Well, look, Sony's got ideas. Whether they're good or not, that's up for debate. they're still apparently somehow past any wisdom, I guess, committed to making El Muerto still.
Really?
I don't believe it.
I mean, they've been talking about Night Thrash or whatever for like 8 years. That's never going to happen. I hope.
They've been talking about a lot of things.
Like, if they had like a good idea, why not just can those and just do a Prowler movie instead?
Sony.
Why do you want them to ruin the Prowler?
Hey, you said you wanted them to have a good idea. I didn't say they were going to do it correctly.
But they got Hypno Hustler. Hypno Hustler.
God.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Who is that character in the game that the streamer that everyone hated?
What, Screwball?
Oh,
That's
Screwball?
Yeah, I was trying to dig through the repressed memory there.
Yeah, how that hasn't been greenlit, it's beyond amazing. But I bet you they're trying to do... I'm
thankful it hasn't, but I'm surprised. Oh, yeah.
No, I guarantee you they're looking at that character being like, one annoying character isn't alone. What if we do Screwball and Jackpot the movie? You know?
Oh, no.
Because just imagine it, like all the catchphrasing. Yeah, neither do I. Although, it's something to make fun of at least. There's always those upsides to Sony things.
I mean, the therapist will make fun of you, but I'm not.
Oh, Kraven is gonna bomb this year. It's that's gonna be something
that's coming out.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
So but you know what? You can put from the producer of Spider-Man on a movie, and people
exactly. I was gonna say, but you know what? At least they're like trying to slap Spider-Man all over everything, but it's like that's not gonna work anymore, guys. People have figured this out. They're figured out. So, I mean, we'll see what's next, but overall, I don't know. Stay tuned, and we'll see.
What was the topic about again?
Sony garbage. Yeah.
Sony has an idea for a villain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get back to the podcast and the topics, let me just quickly mention that our podcast feed, the old one that many of you were subbed to, is no longer active. If you would like to still get the podcast in audio form outside of YouTube, you can follow the link that is in our description, where it will take you to Spotify, where you can subscribe and or grab the RSS feed and then proceed to add it to your podcasting service of choice. So hopefully you've done that by now. If you haven't and are wondering when the audio will pop up, just go update the proper settings, or simply on Spotify, just search for the CBC and you should be able to find it with the appropriate logo. Anyways, let's get back to the show and whatever nonsense we might be talking about. You know what? Screw that. Let's just jump on to talking about DC, because David Zaslav once again said later this year, we're going to find out the full scope of Gunn's and Peter Safran's 10-year plan. And then James Gunn did actually reply to that saying, well, yeah, they just haven't figured out how they're going to announce it. He was replying to people asking if it's going to be like a conference or a press release or whatever. And he was like, well, is there more options? So
technically, there.
I think they're honestly going to do a rollout across multiple things. It's like, hey, Variety, here's an exclusive. Hey, San Diego, here's exclusive. Hey, DC Investors Call. Spread it out to kind of boost talk every time.
Well, it really just depends on if they're really in on this money-saving spree that they are.
Yeah.
If they are saving money, then all points to them just doing a stream.
Mm-hmm.
I say, can we just get what we had last time?
What, right? The DC Dome thing?
No, when Gunn announced the first 5 movies or whatever, just that little.
You mean just sitting in a little dark room?
Yeah, just do that. It's
just a small YouTube video. Yeah, this is what we have.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything big, and it wasn't standing on stage and showing PNGs to 5,000 people, but it had a bit more of a personal feel to it. So just do that again.
I am actually in agreement with you. Like, what I would like is bring back. Now, only bring back the name DC Fandom, right? Just bring that back. Have James Gunn do a yearly, here's the status update of everything. And in it, they can also be like, hey, here's the DCEU. Here's the next couple things. Check out this first look poster, this behind the scenes image. Hey, here's a look at Superman. And now Here's
Wonder Woman, the game.
Right. And here's this game. Here's this Elseworld film. Here's first look at the Batman Part 2 or whatever. You can condense it all into a 25-minute video, just like when Disney kicked off Disney Plus. Remember that like conference they had where it was like a 3-hour video? Yeah. Do that for DC with 20 minutes and you're good, you know?
Hopefully it doesn't devolve into what happened. Was it last year where it was just tweets?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that at least we know we're getting announcements this year, which tells me that at least they're committed to something.
Well, they have to announce something, right? You know, they got to piss off Stephen Amell a bit more.
That's true.
Mister, why aren't they making anything? No, forget there was a strike. Why weren't they're just talking? It's like, shut up, Amell.
You're not Green Arrow anymore. Why should it matter to you?
Hey, Amell.
And now it's Scab. You're barely an actor.
I was going to say, it took an average episode of Arrow 2 weeks to get written, 8 days to shoot, and 4 weeks of post-production. And it showed. So that's why. Films are different, you know? Like, come on.
And he'll never know that.
I don't know. Isn't he producing stuff for Netflix or something?
He's producing it, but that's not...
Like, isn't it like was it with his like cousin or something?
Yeah. Yeah,
and
Robbie
it's like
Amell.
Yeah, it's all like band movies.
Yeah. I mean, it's something, I suppose, but
you'll get lost in the shuffle on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, looking at the whole bigger picture here, I like that DC is at least planning forward, unlike many others. Like, at least they seem
like Marvel apparently at the minute. No.
Yeah, Marvel's a bit scrambly, just like Sony.
I just wanted to like know about the animation and like video game side. And how it's all going to tie into the overall overarching 10-year plan.
I'd imagine with the video games, after Suicide Squad's only got like less than 500 people playing it right now.
That's Elseworld. That don't matter. That's Elseworld. That don't matter.
Yeah, I don't think WB Games is going to survive.
Well, why can't they say that's Elseworld for Peacemakers? It's only Delton and 4 other people watched the entire show. Nobody made it past 2 episodes. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Nobody.
It's just. They're probably gonna play close to the best. But I just really want to know like how is this all going to work? Because potentially you'd probably just have to do self-contained like stories or be like a prequel story.
Yeah.
So I think the safe bet is you go prequel.
Yeah. Easily. I mean, it's not a bad idea, right? Like, but conceptually, it's going to take time, and you got to slot it in right. So you would kind of have to do prequels and or major side story that has no effect on anything. So, like, you brought up Stephen Amell, Green Arrow. I mean, if Green Arrow isn't going to have a project, make a game. Like, it's
but then he probably complains saying, well, how is he not the VA for it?
But then they also want to sell copies, and I don't think a Green Arrow game is going to be that big of a hit.
2D side scroller, 16-bit. There we go.
Make it with AI, you're fine.
Enter into ChatGPT. Make me a Green Arrow side scroller. Oh, I don't know. Look, whatever happens, we'll talk about it soon. There's nothing more to say about this, really. So we'll be back to talk more about DC's universe soonish. Let's talk about the big push for the X-Men and I guess Fantastic Four going forward. What we're hearing now is that once they're out of these questionable, shaky stages they're at right now, where Marvel Studios once they're not shambling and once they're finding their footing successfully again, apparently Fantastic Four and X-Men are at the forefront of everything. Now,
I'm shocked.
That's what you would think after what they did to Kamala, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, like the way I'm looking at this. Fantastic Four comes out next year. X-Men at least 3 to 4 years away. You know what this perfectly lines itself up with? The upcoming X-Men PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, I forgot about it. Yeah.
Perfect wave of both converging towards the end of the decade to a new take on X-Men on both fronts. I mean, if you
I'm
want
going to guarantee
synergy,
you, I'm going to guarantee it. Neither of those is going to happen when they say it's going to happen.
oh, they're both being delayed.
Yeah. Something's going
because,
on it.
Yeah, because of what happened with the leaks and finding out that Wolverine has one other character that's related to the X-Men that you will be able to play as.
Also, it was weird that like they're like, oh, it goes from Wolverine game to X-Men 2 to X-Men 3. You're like, so Wolverine is X-Men 1?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you see like subtitled Wolverine, weapon.
Unless it was just a typo.
Yeah. Or just quick mock-ups, I guess, Or,
Yeah.
I could honestly see the new game being called Wolverine and the X-Men, just like the old, TV series, and then kind of goes into X-Men 2 and 3. But whatever the plan is, clearly Marvel Studios is going to have a big X-Men push by the end of this decade, which lines up with, hey, X-Men reboot. Here you go,
Time's a flat circle. We're here for another one.
Another one.
It is kind of like weird and funny where like they tried Inhumans, they technically bombed, so kick them to the side. Let's go back to mutants, and hopefully the cash comes rolling in.
It's nice to know that my therapist is
now. Do you guys want like something that's completely crazy, right? Let's say if the X-Men film comes out in 2030, right along the time where they expect the video game will drop, it will be 30 or close to 30 years since the original X-Men film. I do not like that. I do not like that at
hear
all.
A creak. That's my back. Jesus.
Yeah, my leg just snapped off.
Oh god, that's
why
wild.
Would
you even say that?
We got to face reality. That's just it.
It's nearly 4:00. I got to go to bed. Christ.
What always gets me is that I'll be at like a comic convention, right? Or somebody will walk up to me being like, "Hey, what's up, Armin?" And we start talking. He's like, "Hey, my son's also a fan of your guys' podcast." And then the person's like, "I started listening when I was 18." And I sit back for a second. I'm like, "And here's your 10-year-old son, and you were like 18, 19. Okay, we're all old. Thanks. Yeah, let's reminisce." That's how it's gonna be with these X-Men movies, man. Like, I can't believe we're at the point where Hugh Jackman is still playing the character, and he's
he'll still be playing Wolverine.
Still, yeah, it's guaranteed at this point.
Really,
be a mannequin, like marionette the poor bloke across the stage.
I mean, is it really like a surprise when I think was it with the Wolverine he didn't he did like voiceover grunts for the action scenes?
Yeah.
I mean, he does that for every movie. That's just ADR.
Yeah.
In fairness to Fox on that one, that's just literally ADR. They all do that.
Yeah.
But being Jackman at that point with all the steroids in the age, like running.
Chicken and rice, man. Chicken and rice is all you need.
Well, luckily now, like they use a lot of CG to make actors look bigger. Like people don't realize how much CG they used on Chris Hemsworth. Despite him putting on a ton of muscle, they still CG'd muscle on top of him in the last Thor film. It's wild.
What if they CG Jackman to be smaller?
Honestly,
height-wise, let's just shrink him a little bit. Let's take like a foot off.
You could, but it would look off depending on how good they do it.
I just want him. Honestly,
Deadpool, so.
Just give him a little bit of a hunch. That's all he needs. If he hunches, he'll be good.
Hunch. It's weird because people like think Wolverine's like average height or a little bit taller. He's like, no, he's like 5'3". He's short.
Man is a short king.
Yeah, he is.
Imagine the hot toy of a short Wolverine. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, where's the rest of it?
They just literally take the thighs out of the figure inside.
Love it. You just remove the midsection.
No articulation. It's fine.
Oh man. Well, I suppose we're gonna know more plans soon because it sounds like we could be. Look, after Deadpool 3, they're gonna announce more plans for X-Men. That's got to be guaranteed when they start dropping the hints. So,
well, we'll have a faint idea of where they wanted to go with that. I imagine.
100%. Yeah, we will. So, that's it. We'll be back to talk more about X-Men and Wolverine and everything going forward very soon. Okay, so before we get to the next topic, let me just plug something CBC, which I'm told I should do more often, but I don't. So in this plug, let's advertise the CBC members section, where of course every week we have additional topics to all of our members that give us a few bucks a month. There's also early videos, and of course unfiltered content because we're not forced to monetize anything on there and the overlords aren't looking down upon what we say. So if you would like to support us just a little bit more, check out the members section, get some additional bonus content, and a cool little icon next to your name. I guess that's a little bonus too. Now with the plug out of the way, let's get back to the show. In WTF is WB doing nothing bad, because we got our first look at the
That's
Superman Legacy emblem logo.
Is the Looney Tunes a joke to you? You heartless man.
So, all right, what are we making of the Superman logo? Come on, it looks good.
I need to see it properly. I like what I see, but you're looking through a pinhole, right? You're not really seeing the full. I need to see the full thing at a proper angle.
Yeah. Me too. Because like after seeing people probably need to get their eyes checked with that AI generated one, I was like, the logo doesn't fit on the person. But when seeing like the actual one, I was like, I need to see more. It looks
on him as well.
Yeah, it's like I want to see like him in costume or the costume itself with the logo. In full view, so I can like see it. But I do like what it looks like so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the fact that it's the yellow's the border.
So
it's gonna make that red really stand out. I like that. I appreciate that.
To me, like, I really love what they've went here. Like you said, the yellow being the border around the red makes it pop. And what I like is, again, it's hard to tell in this. You really got to pay attention to it. The way the light is shining on it, you can tell it's been made to offer different shadowing from a different angle. So it's going to have that MCU depth with the lines when the light hits it right. That adds depth without them having to add fake muscle. That's the one thing I always hated about Cavill's and DCEU suits was they needed to artificially color in fake abs because everything was popping and was stuck on muscle. This has proper layering, which I think, to me, once we see the full suit, is going to really translate well. I love what it looks like. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous logo. As I said before, I understand why this is it. I think it was smart to release this on Superman Day to kind of hype up Superman. Like it just, everything seemed perfect about it. It dropped out of nowhere, a lot of buzz, excitement. It's good to see that Superman is in, well, from this at least, I'm going to trust it's in good hands, but you know.
It's a good start for what we've seen so far.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And they dropped the legacy title as well. It's now just called Superman, which I don't think we've ever had a Superman movie just be called Superman.
Yeah, no, which is wild.
It's always like Superman the movie or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Then the sequel could be called The Superman. Then we go full circle and go Superman Returns for the third one.
I want them to call the second one Superman, the Man of Steel, or Superman, Man of Tomorrow, just to piss off all those.
If they called it Man of Steel, there's gonna actually be in like the internet will explode. No, the rest of the world will be fine because a certain group is only just a bunch of butts on Twitter.
True. Well, see, here's what you're missing. It's going to be called the Man of Steel because it's going to introduce the character of Steel. So it's not even about Clark. Huh? Right? Yeah. Steel? Oh, hey, I like Steel. He's like my second favorite version of Superman. Spin-off.
I've never read anything with Steel, so I can't say anything. I was just
the Shaquille O'Neal version is criminally underrated, classic masterpiece. I'll say that.
Right, so avoid it at all costs because I'm
100%. Unless you are way higher than I can get on the weekend, do not watch that film.
Yeah.
That's my tip for that one. But yeah, look, like I'm glad that WB had a win this week because God knows they've taken tons of L's. So
I mean, 2 L's make a W, right?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what the future holds for Superman in general, but we're excited. We'll talk more about it when the full suit reveal happens. That's when I'm more excited.
I really like as well that it's not overly textured.
Yes.
There's none of this obnoxious, this Kryptonian language all over it, and there's a river running through the middle of it. Just like, shut up. Just you can't see it because it's all
the mythology of the Kryptonians is because they're like the Atlanteans on Earth that are. Shut up! Just give them an S for the love of God. Like, it doesn't need to be that complex. It's a damn chest emblem. Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it looks good. The little look at the blue you get as well is nice. So it's looking like it's going to stand out. It's not going to be virtually.
It's not going to be like covered in a dark beige gloom over the blue.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy. So when we talk more about this, obviously you guys will know, but stay tuned. The reports that Miles Morales might be joining Spider-Man 4.
I mean, this is completely contradictory to what Pascal said like 2 weeks ago. Saying, get past the next 2 movies and maybe.
Do you think it's possible we get both versions? Like we get an MCU Miles and a Sony Miles?
I hope not.
Like,
I mean, we've already got a Sony Miles. Like that's fine. We'll keep it
keep that one.
Probably not. I think that they're most likely, if it is like true or it has been talked about, is that they're probably gonna try and fast track this to get this up to get the money that they need. Because to me, it just sounds like they're just trying anything to get their money back from what happened from the past couple of movies that didn't pan out for obvious reasons. So,
thankfully, Madden Web didn't lose them that much money.
I mean, they had to. Yeah, they didn't gain that much money either. I mean,
they gained nothing, but the loss wasn't as big as it could be because the budget was like less than 100 million. So, they didn't advertise it either, so they saved money.
No, they did, but
it's fine.
It wasn't good advertisement. I'll say that.
It wasn't. Morbius still stands as their biggest loss, I believe.
Yeah, but I can see that they're trying. I was checking like the web to see like the reaction, and it's like really weird because people wanted, I guess they wanted another Peter trilogy for technically obvious reasons.
People had that. What was it? You had the high school trilogy and the college trilogy. And that's the idea people have had for a while.
Yeah, they had that. But Tom has said like for as much as he loves Spider-Man, he doesn't want to continue to be Peter Parker for very long, unless there's like a giant check that he can get every single one.
Oh, and there will be.
It's almost like he's negotiating in public, saying,
"Yeah,
he's like, I don't want to do this, but I'll take your check and do it again."
He knows he's got them by the balls because what are they going to do? Say, "Hey, we're rebooting Spider-Man." You can't reboot in the MCU because that looks stupid. And
like the only other option is too old to cry at Bob Iger again. Can't get
exactly.
The only other option is we'll just phase you out and get Miles in here, and we can pay him less.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it at this point.
Yeah.
See,
I'd like at least a trilogy of the two of them together, and then Miles trilogies.
Oh wow, yeah, you with the bad take there. Spider-Man.
What else is new?
Because
is that a bad take for Spider-Man fans? Because Spider-Man fans just.
Yes, it is. Because from what
backwards, it's bad take, right?
Because from what I've seen is that they don't want Miles anywhere near this, or even be in like a trilogy of the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
they just.
I'll say to the Spider-Man fan base is when you actually get rights, I'll listen to you. You don't have any rights, so shut up and go in your corner.
The perfect opportunity would be if if Spider-Man 4 is a street level film, you toss the Prowler in there, right? Again, same one. We already had him. You introduce Miles as a little more grown up and sort of running into Peter. Maybe they become friends because Miles works, I don't know, at a bodega or something that Peter frequents, right? Something simple that the two interact. The next film, you could establish more of he actually got powers. We don't need to really show it to you, but sidekick, sort of like the game. And then the third one, you could have a big blow up and then, more Miles films. My fear is Sony's looking at this going, well, you guys can keep Peter, but we're going to do Miles by ourselves. And if that's the case,
that's what I'm feeling.
I don't want that. Nobody wants that because Sony's film division, live action film division, is not the same as the animated. And the moment it jumps over to the live action division, the animated guys have no say.
I will guarantee you Feige's doing everything he can to stop that from happening.
Because like isn't like the current like rumblings or rumors saying like Marvel and Sony are probably fighting on what they want Spider-Man 4 to be, either
100%
street level.
But there was the whole thing of Sony wants another No Way Home and Feige doesn't. How true that is. I mean, I can imagine it's true, because why would you not want another 2 billion Spider-Man film, right? But I don't know. I think after like Madam Web and no doubt with Kraven, Marvel's going to have a bit more pull with that.
Yeah.
And also where Sony's now doing Disney's physical distribution.
Yep.
You know, hey, you get a piece of this and you can do all that, yet we get a bit more control of Spider-Man. Because everything Disney does with Sony is just a way to claw back a little bit of Spider-Man every time.
It's true. And now there's also like that push-pull, hey, you give a little, we take a little, and back and forth, because like you said with the whole distribution, just think of this. When we get the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Blu-ray, which is going to be like in the next wave of Disney Plus releases, right? We're going to see that it's produced by Sony. They're going to be taking a 30% cut of the physical release of that. Like, there's more money being exchanged now between these two studios and properties than ever before. Like, I think they're going to, cooler heads will prevail with the Miles Morales decision, I hope. Because if it doesn't, Miles, on his first outing, will be ruined the same way that the death of Superman was ruined for the first time on film. You can't undo it once it's been done damage the first time. It's like, you got one chance, you know? Like, imagine if Raimi's Spider-Man did not go over the way it did. Like, if it would have been a horrible film at the time that was like Batman and Robin, that would have been it. You would not have more attempts because it would have tanked like the new boom, right? So like, I have a feeling Miles will be done right, but Sony's going to claw for it just to get anything out of it.
I've got no worries. Miles will turn out exactly how he's supposed to turn out.
Yeah,
in the movies, he'll be fine.
Yep, hopefully. Well, I suppose that's gonna bring us to the end of the show, everybody. Again, quicker podcast, but we got some video games to do. We got some Final Fantasy. We got who knows what else. So,
I have an Aerith to save or not to save. I don't know how this game's gonna go. But.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm probably gonna work on something about the reports of when that Respawn first person Mandalorian game news came about, and I'm kind of okay with it, because it was from what the information has been said is that they were looking to emulate Doom. So
good, it can go. It doesn't need to exist. It's cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how'd you go from Mandalorians to Doom?
No, that's gonna emulate Doom gameplay is what it.
That's wild. That's a terrible idea.
That's
like it was gonna like, you know how like in Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, where like Doom guy had like to like, you know, fatal takedowns and stuff like that. The Mandalorian was gonna be able to do that. Not to that level of like violence, but he was gonna be. They're gonna. Be
all you need is literally that Star Wars Outlaws game with a Mandalorian. That's all you need. That's the literal game.
Yeah.
What?
So like, don't make it a first person. Make it third.
Like it was gonna be like first person, and it wasn't gonna be an open world or anything like that. It was gonna be linear to an extent, and you're just gonna.
That I'm fine with.
Yeah, you're gonna. The linear gameplay or level layout was gonna be like, basically kind of like classic Mega Man, where you take bounties for certain characters and you go and do that level, a certain level with that bounty that you need to kill and all that other stuff.
So it was perfectly fine. This was cancelled, and
and like I was thinking about, they also had the customization, but like I'm thinking if you're first person, you're never gonna really see.
Yeah, what's the point of customizing your Mandalorian?
Like you never really see your character unless you go for the takedown, then you'll see your character.
It's also like, if you really think about it, there's been this shift in Disney's philosophy, like with video games and everything that they're currently doing, especially when it comes to Star Wars and EA. I mean, them saying, "Hey, we want to focus on our in-house IPs," which is why we're canceling all these games. It's telling because they're going to try to, go back to, hey, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Dead Space. It's like, I hope it works out for you because I like those games. But
yeah, from that, I was looking from leaks and stuff like that. It's lucky that it's right that Jedi 3's fine, and the Black Panther and the Iron Man game are still okay for now.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Because people was like, "What about those cases?" Like, I'm looking at seeing about leakers and stuff, and then it's like, no, they're fine for now, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, I suppose they're fine. And what else is fine is hopefully your guys' weekend when you're listening to this. So thank you for joining us, everybody. And till next time, take care.